Good morning, everyone. Today is November 29th, 2020, and we are going to chant Mujoge. And Mujoge is a part of Ojo Raisan. And today we are going to chant Mujoge from Shoya Raisan. And please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Shoshu to Jou Seten Shoya Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. So this is the free translation of Mujoge. Blind passions are deep and never find the bottom. The ocean of birth and death is boundless. I have not established a ship to cross this ocean of suffering. How can I enjoy the sleep? Dauntlessly make efforts and always put our mind on calmness. And now I like to share Shinran Shogin's Wasan poem. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. 本師道綽禅師は聖道万行さしおきて唯有浄土一門を通入すべき道ととくと Setting aside the myriad practices of the path of sages, our teacher, Master Tao-ch'o, proclaims the single gate of the Pure Land Way as the only path that affords passage. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. So from today, we are going to read 7 Wasans on Tao-ch'o. Numbers of the Wasan doesn't necessarily reflect how that master is important in our tradition, but when we look at the numbers of Wasans on the Pure Land Masters, Nagarjuna Vasubandhu 10 Wasans, Tanlan 34, Tao-ch'o 7, Shantao 26, Genshin 10, Genku 20. So here we see how Tao-ch'o's Wasans are lesser than the other masters. But Tanlan, Shantao, and Genku, or Honen Shonin, gave huge impact on Shinran Shonin's understanding that this number might be indicating the influences on Shinran Shonin's understanding. When I went to Tokudo ordination in 1996, there we had written test, and we had to be able to answer who the 7 Pure Land Masters are, what their writings are, and what their contribution to the Pure Land Buddhism are. So here is the writings of the Pure Land Masters and their contributions. As we read through Wasans, we learned until Tanlan, and we just learned what Tanlan wanted to reveal is other power of Amida Buddha. And Tao-ch'o, his writings is passages on the land of happiness, and his contribution is classification of the path of sages and the Pure Land path. Tao-ch'o, he was born in 562 after Common Era, 20 years after the passing of Tanlan. And when he was 12 years old, there was a severe persecution by the Emperor Wu of the Northern Zhou dynasty, and many of the temples were destroyed, and about 2 million Buddhist monks and Taoists were forced to return to the lay life. But Tao-ch'o was from the different dynasty. I hope you can see this map well, but he was from Nozanji. Probably there were news going around the dynasty that Buddhist monks and Taoists were forced to return to the lay life by the Emperor Wu in Northern Zhou dynasty. But it was after 2 years of this persecution that Tao-ch'o received ordination. He was 14 years old. And when Tao-ch'o was 17 years old, Northern Qi was defeated by Northern Zhou, and Northern Qi became part of the Northern Zhou, and the persecution continued to influence in Northern Qi. When he was 20 years old, the dynasty changed again to Sui dynasty. The emperor of the Sui protected the Buddhism, and they did the restoration of the Buddhism. So probably for the 3 years when Northern Zhou was ruling the country, Tao-ch'o had to live in the lay secular life too. Tao-ch'o spent a long time researching and studying the Nirvana Sutra. It is said he lectured Nirvana Sutra for 24 times. And let's say it takes a year to lecture entire Nirvana Sutra, then it is about 24 years to lecture Nirvana Sutra for 24 times. If he started to lecture Nirvana Sutra around 22 or 23 years old, he was already 44 or 45 years old by then. And at one point of his life, Tao-ch'o joined to one of the groups which mainly practice meditation and keep precepts. So he was probably shifting from the logical understanding of Buddhism to the practical aspect of the Buddhism teaching around that time. And when he was 48 years old, in the year 609, Tao-ch'o encountered the monument regarding Tanlan at Sanzan Temple and entered the Pure Land path. Until the day of passing at the age of 84 years old, he lived at Shinran Temple and lectured the Contemplation Sutra over 200 times. So Nirvana Sutra is long sutra, but Contemplation Sutra is much shorter compared to the Nirvana Sutra. So he was probably able to lecture Contemplation Sutra for many, many times. And it was around Tao-ch'o when he was about 70 years old. Shan Tao became disciple of Tao-ch'o too. And during his lifetime, Tao-ch'o experienced the changes of the dynasties for 3 times, and there were famine, locust plague, flood, and so on. And these kind of experiences probably formed his philosophy that it is a time of the last Dharma age. So this is a brief biography of Tao-ch'o. And as I mentioned, his contribution was to reveal the path of sages and the Pure Land path. So in this last Dharma age, what we, the ordinary beings, need to rely on is the Pure Land path, the path of easy practice of other power. And through 6 lessons on Tao-ch'o from tomorrow, we will learn about his teachings. But before conclude today's talk, there is a side note on this Wasan, and it said, Tao-ch'o abandoned his study in the Nirvana school and wholly took refuge in the Pure Land path. When I think about the life of Shinran Shonin, experiencing the changes of the government, famine, wars, and so on, and entering Buddhist path, studying Nirvana Sutra, and later entering the Pure Land path, I feel that there are a lot of similarities, and Shinran Shonin probably saw himself in Tao-ch'o's life too. But I hope today's explanation was more like a biography of Tao-ch'o, but I hope today's explanation helped. And in closing, please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. So this will conclude today's morning service, and I hope to see you from 10 a.m. service because today is Sunday, and if not, I will see you tomorrow morning. So thank you for attending, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning too.